Alright, so welcome to Bright Mirror Infinite. Now we're going to be picking new game easy, of course, because it's faster. We're going to get right after this intro ends and it turns to a black screen, the time will start. Time starts now. If the game will load, what the heck? That black screen took a little longer than it usually does. It should have loaded a little faster, so time's a little early, but that's alright. Won't change much. Alright, so a couple things that need to be explained in these 40 seconds. Well, 10 now. We skip 3 cutscenes in this game. That saves us 4 minutes and 50 seconds of real time just sitting there. And it stops breaking the flow of the game, so you can actually get into runs and optimize it and have a little more fun. Secondly, dashing diagonally is faster than dashing in a singular direction for some interesting reason. We're not really sure, but it does. It is much faster. Oh, and you can take a sword slash like that. It's like an upward slash, and it can put you through invisible walls. You can also dash through invisible walls if you find the correct lineup and setup between the wall, two corners of the wall. And you can swing your sword like that to gain extra height. And dashing along slants gives you a speed boost, along with dashing off of edges. Gives you a massive boost in your speed. And now we just run on water. We are Jesus. And try not to drop the hop. Oh my goodness. I'm just jumping and dashing in rhythm right now to this island here. And that ends the level. Well, it plays cutscene first, but it ends the level after 15 seconds of landing on the island. Roughly. And that'll put us on the next level. We just skipped an entire boss fight plus 80% of that level. 85% maybe. And a crap ton of cutscenes that are unskippable. Then we move on to this next level. Now this level, for the start of it, the first minute and some, you don't have access to any of your primary weaponry. You have to pick up a knife, a cleaver specifically, and you gotta use this thing to run through a stealth section. But we don't really want to do that, so we're just gonna use this boat, and if it's gonna be nice to me, push me through the out of bounds wall, and now we just run. We just run through some water, and I'm gonna show you guys something a little sneaky, and look at that, that's the void. Oh, and we're gonna ignore that. And now we just run over to this wall. You can get up over there if you want it, but this is slightly faster. And just like that, you get up that giant wall, and you just run along, jump up the terrain. There are actually little holes in the ground that you can fall through in some places that are just unfair and invisible. The terrain just doesn't have collision anymore. But the way I just went skips most of those. And now we're on to gaining back our weapons, because that's the first cutscene, which re-enables us to have real tools. Now we jump on this roof, and then we jump out of bounds. Bam. Now we jump on an invisible roof. Now we're on real roofs. Oh, got stuck in the wall there. And now we're all the way over to another section. We pick up this little upgrade. That'll be a nice tool for later. We won't use them now. I got a little stuck in a small hole. Never done that before, but that's alright. Now I'm going to jump on a roof and boost myself even further. And you can pretty much tell how much faster those boosts are. Oh, and I accidentally just put myself in bounds here, which is probably faster than having to go along an edge there and then push yourself in bounds with your upswing. That's the first time I've ever done that, too. Definitely fast, though. If I didn't get stuck, it would have been a bit better. Now time for the first boss we actually fight. Now, we fight this guy with the shotgun because of a certain mechanic this game has. Where parrying refills an entire clip. No matter what ammo count you're at. Also, that boss can be super scary because he does that. And those swings that hit the ground like that have an area of effect, so your parry doesn't actually block the damage. Your perfect parries do not block damage, so you can die really easily if you screw that fight up. Or if you get bad RNG. Now, phase 2 here. He stops using that big hammer, which sucks a bit, because he has 2 attacks that you can parry now. And they are terrible attacks at the parry. And he just did one of them. And he hasn't done them again. Oh yeah, but I'm almost dead now. And he keeps stomping. Which means I'm not getting any parryable attacks. I've only gotten the one. Which really sucks. So I just can parry one of the small grunts and finish him off. Bam. Nice. And that was actually a really decent fight still. That second phase for me is unoptimized. Mostly because I get that kind of luck where he doesn't swing his hands. That's the only swing that you can actually parry from him. Which is a really annoying thing about that boss. In the second phase, at least. First phase, easy. You just blast him and parry every attack you need to, or can. Reduce as much damage as you can, and boom, you're done. Now, we're on to the third level. There is a cutscene normally after that level that plays before this level, but that's when we skip. That takes an entire minute out of the run. And is extremely boring and bland to have to sit through, even if it's a break in the gameplay, so you get a bit of a rest. It's really not very fun to have to just sit there. No, here's another out of bounds. There. And now I'm out of I got back inbounds after going out of bounds there. And that just skips a lot of having to go around stuff. You gotta make sure you get the dialogue there, or you know you don't get the checkpoint, sadly. So you can actually get sent right back to the start if you don't land that right. Oh yeah, and that hand blast is a bit inaccurate. You actually gotta aim at your target somehow, even though it's clearly a wide field. And now for the 2-minute long driving section, where you press W and steer. That's it. We haven't found a way to skip this yet from out of bounds, sadly, because this area that I'm driving on now doesn't load in no matter what you do, so you can't actually get around the area, traverse up to the end of it yet. and we've been looking and we haven't found anything. There are little platforms, but trying to parkour in this game is very difficult, and it would be so inconsistent, and it would also have to save time somehow, which is unlikely with how accurate and slow you'd have to do that. Especially since jumps don't put you forward very much, even if you're sprinting. And you need to use your dashes to actually make some placements. It's a real pain. Oh yeah, and all that, like, shaking in my camera is because one of these guys is hitting me from behind constantly. It's a real pain. And now we're in the escape sequence, basically. And boom. Now, jump out of the car explodes. Hey look, an airplane. Grapple! Now this is kind of a weird part of the game, where it's you're fighting on a plane. Now I got a little unlucky there, but hopefully I get lucky with these guys. Good. Sometimes those guys get stuck in their spawn, so you can't kill them, which doesn't trigger the next cutscene. Now I don't have to kill this guy, but I'm going to because I'm bored. You can actually jump across plane to plane if you want, but that trick is dangerous, so I don't do it often. It'd save you about 5 seconds because it would activate the cutscene as soon as the plane gets in position. And then we fall off, of course, and now we fall nice and far to our untimely doom. Not really. The Primordial Flood. This is a weird one. It's where things get bonkers with this game. It's also the last level, and it's, I think, the longest level of the entire game at this point. Mostly because of the final fights of this game. I'm trying not to spoil it just yet. Also, you can grapple up that entire thing, which is just a bit of an oversight. And you can push yourself through fire. Oh yeah, here's that dash through walls mechanic I mentioned. And now we're out of bounds, just going around an area. But we shouldn't be able to, not really. But we are. Oh, I almost landed in the black hole of Doom. So that black hole there, basically if you ever go into one, your run dies, no matter what. There. There's how I push through the terrain. But yeah, those black holes, we don't know why they're there, but going into them, once you go into them, you can never get out of them. So they just kind of end your run. Oh yeah, we just dash through these kind of crazily. Pick up another Recklary. Checkpoint reset. Now we do that reset there because with all the stuff we skipped, triggers get bugged out. So resetting this checkpoint allows us to continue with the game. And now we upgrade a certain skill. We do this because it clears this area the fastest. There. There. So basically that reset, it allows the next 4 enemies to actually spawn, although they do take forever, no matter what you do. Yeah. And now, time for a boss fight. This is the boss we skipped in the first level. We have to beat his butt again. And then we have to beat one other phase of him. And then that's the end of the game. It's a bit crazy, actually. But this is the easy part of this boss fight. This first phase. Seems like the second phases are always the worst. Basically, you shotgun and you slash him. And you just repeat that. Hopefully he doesn't dash like this. And you parry him, of course. I'm getting really bad RNG with him, where he's somehow getting his dashes off. And I'm actually almost dead here, so I'm gonna play it safe. It's really weird. He does not normally do this to me. But I'm having really, really bad luck. Normally I push him into the back of that pagoda. Pagoda, whatever. And it goes, and then that's really helpful. But I don't know, he just wouldn't stand still long enough for me to push him back. And I got really unlucky with it. I couldn't stun lock him into it. Which stops him from dashing for some reason. It kind of forces his AI to do one thing. So now, I don't have much time to beat this last boss, and it is the longest, hardest part of this fight. With some of the scariest attacks, too. Like, you thought what just happened to me was bad? It's not. This guy leaves stuff on the ground. And that stuff on the ground can kill you in 3 seconds. Is about the idea. Oh yeah, don't get caught in that bell. Oh yeah, this is another fight of this fight I haven't done much of, but it's best to, Oh, I'm actually low on ammo for this fight, which is interesting. Normally you aren't this low on ammo for this fight, so that means I gotta actually use a different weapon on him. Not something I'm used to doing. That's alright. It's gonna lose me a lot of time, but nothing I can do about it. And we'll finish him off. And that's time. And that was Bright Memory Infinite. Pretty quick, right? It's not even close to done being optimized. Soon we'll have a sub 21 time. Or a sub 22 time. And then we'll be on to, or is it 22 or sub 21 time, sorry. And then we'll be on to sub 20. And I don't know how many more minute barriers can be broken. But yeah. It's a pretty fun run. Oh, also that cutscene remover that, or skipper that we have. After this section of the game, it crashes the run. Like, the game just crashes and puts you back to the first level. It's pretty funny.